What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Gregorio Girls Makeup channel. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is Devin and I run this beauty channel with my sister Shauna. And if you're not new, as always, welcome back. You know we love you. So for today's video, we are going to be doing a 3 looks 1 palette video with this beauty right here. This is the new Colourpop Bare Necessities palette. If this is your first time seeing this palette, which I doubt it is for a lot of you, but just in case, here she is. She's absolutely beautiful. There is every single neutral color that you would ever need to create any neutral look possible, ever. How many times did I just say ever? I don't know. But yeah, I was immediately drawn to this palette, and I have to say that overall it was a win for me testing this out today. So the way that I filmed this video is I did one look on one eye, one look on the other eye, and then I finished off with this look here on both eyes. So I feel like we might be a little bit rocky with the first 2 looks, so definitely stick with me. I'm not used to kind of doing the one eye camera angle type deal, but we'll get through it. And then the other thing that I do want to mention before we get started is that I kind of worked from top to bottom with this palette as I was doing the different looks. So I used these top 2 rows in the first look. I used this beautiful pinky middle row in the second look, and then I used the bottom 2 rows for the look that you see on my eyes right now. So without further ado, if you are interested in seeing the 3 looks that I created with the Colourpop Bare Necessities palette, then let's get right into it. Alright, you guys, let's go ahead and get started with the first look. I apologize if this camera angle is a little bit wonky. I'm going to try to keep it straight throughout, but I want to do a look on each eye without doing the same look on both eyes, if that makes sense. And I don't usually film videos like this, so if it's a little shaky, just bear with me and we will do our best. So you guys are going to get a nice big close-up of my gigantic pores and breakouts today, so that's nice, isn't it? So the first thing I'm going to do is jump into this color right here, which is called Full Expose, and that's what I'm going to use to set my eyeshadow primer. Next, I'm jumping into the shade Hustler right here, and I'm going to use that to start working into the crease. Next, I'm going to jump over 1 and use this shade right here called Complicated. Looks like a matte with some flecks of glitter in it, which I kind of don't really like these types of shades, but I'm just going to treat it like a matte, and I'm going to use that to deepen up the crease a little bit. And this next step is probably fairly predictable, but I'm gonna jump over 1 more step to this shade right here called Crack On, and I'm gonna use this to deepen up the outer corner. Next, I'm jumping up to the top row here, and I'm going to take this shade, which is called, this shade right here, which is called Silk Teddy, and I'm going to start off applying this with a flat shader brush to start, and then I'm going to go over top with my finger just to amp it up a little bit. And I'm going to do that just because I want to see how this shadow performs in both ways. I know that shimmers typically go on okay with a flat brush, but they go on the best with your finger. So we're gonna try both here. Okay, and then real quick, I'm just gonna go back in with that same brush that I was using to apply the outer corner color, and I'm not putting any more product on it. I'm just using the excess product to kind of blend those 2 colors together so there's not as much of a harsh line between the matte shade and the shimmer. Next, I'm jumping up to the top left corner of the palette to this color right here. It's called Idle Hour, and I'm going to use this color to highlight my brow bone and my inner corner. Alright, so I feel like that Idle Hour color needs just a little bit amping up, so I just wet a little bit more of it on my brush, and I'm going back in with it to see if I can make it pop a little bit more, but So far, I'm the least impressed with that color. All the rest of the colors have been applying and blending out really nicely, but I was expecting more of a pop from that one. So to finish off this look on the lower lash line, I am just going back into that color Complicated, which is one of the colors that we used in the crease, and I am blending that along the lower lash line. And then I'm gonna go back into that shade Crack On, which is that nice matte chocolate brown that we were working with earlier. And I'm taking that on a flat eyeliner brush, and I'm just gonna start smudging that right up close to the lower lash line, like really hugging the base of the lashes. And then taking a small blending brush one more time, I'm just gonna go ahead and buff that out. All right, ladies and gents, so I just went ahead and popped on some mascara and my favorite Kiss 11 lashes to amp this look up a little bit, and that is gonna do it for look number 1. All right, moving on to look number 2. My eyelids are already primed and set again. Well, not my eyelids, my one eyelid. This particular eyelid right here is primed and set. So I am first gonna take this shade right here called Hot Gossip, and that's gonna be our first crease color. You know what to do. Next, I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is called All For You, and we're gonna continue to build up the crease with that color. And I'm actually just gonna take a makeup wipe right here really quickly to kind of clean up where I blended a little bit too far below. Jumping over one shade, I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is called Designer Duds, and I'm gonna use that as my all over lid shade. Okay, so not my favorite with a brush. I'm not as impressed with that shadow so far. It's not quite as shimmery, or it just doesn't have as much of a pop as the color that I used on the other eye, but that's okay. I'm gonna go back in with my finger and try to build it up a little bit, and we'll just have to settle for a softer, more smoldering shimmer on this eye, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Next, I'm taking that Idle Hour shade, the same highlight shade that we used in the last look, and I'm gonna use that to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone one more time. This is another shimmer that I am not terribly impressed with from this palette, but it's really the only shade that I would use to highlight, so we're gonna keep going with it. All right, so for the bottom lid, I'm gonna jump back into that All For You shade, and I'm gonna start running that along the lower lash line. Guys, I am absolutely failing at this one eye in the shot at a time thing, so please don't judge me. I'm trying my best, I'm trying new techniques for 2020, all right? Just trying to be a real YouTuber. And then to make that lower lash line pop a bit more, I'm going back in with that color Spree on a slightly more pointed eyeliner eyeshadow brush type deal, and I'm gonna run that just a little bit closer to the lower lash line as well. All right, you guys, so I just went ahead and popped on some mascara and lashes again. These are the same Kiss 11 lashes. Obviously, you can use any lashes that you want with any of these looks, but these are some of my favorites, so I'm gonna use them. So here's look number 2. I'm not as impressed with the shimmers in this row. However, I really, really did like the matte shades. All right, everyone, so for the third and final look, as you can see, we've got a different camera angle here. I did take the time to put my base on because I do have another video to film after this video. So this last look, you're gonna get to see kind of like a full put together look as opposed to the previous two where we just kind of focused on the eye look. So once again, I've already primed and set my eyelids, so we're just gonna go right in. So I think for this last look, I wanna do like a nice, just beautiful brown smoky eye. I actually think I'm gonna cheat a little bit and take this Hot Gossip shade again. Do I wanna do that? Yeah, I think I wanna do that just to start it off subtle so I can make sure that I'm building up without like doing too much too quickly. So again, I'm taking Hot Gossip. So to be honest, I'm really digging this shade as a transition. It looks kind of cool toned in the pan, and it is, but it's like a neutral cool. Like, I wouldn't be afraid to pair this with warms either. So I really feel like this is just a really good shade to start off with, no matter what look you're doing. Next, I'm gonna work into this shade right here, which is called Tabloid, and I am going to use that to, what am I gonna do with it? I'm gonna use it to build up the crease. Bet you didn't know I was gonna do that. Tricky, I know. And then just to take it a little tiny bit darker, I know this might seem excessive, but I have a vision in my head. So I am going to take this shade right here, which is called Taboo. Yes, Taboo. And I'm taking that on just an even thinner blending brush, and I am going to work that into my outer corner here, and I am also going to work this up into the crease. I'm really going for drama with this last look. Did I almost just say last lick? What? What does that even mean? Don't answer that. Anyway, I'm gonna use this brush to pack this into my outer corner and then also blend it up into my crease. Now this is risky because I already have my entire face done. So if I mess this up, it's not gonna be pretty. If I don't mess it up, it is gonna be pretty. And then I'm really quick gonna take Hot Gossip again, and I'm just gonna blend out the edges, just so we've got a little bit of a lighter color peeking out behind those darker shades. I really, really do like how these mattes are all blending together. I'd say the mattes in this palette are the home run. The shimmers are kind of like inconsistent. And I know that they're like different, they're not all the same formula and stuff like that. They're like different finishes. The mattes in this palette. And like I'm getting no fallout either, which is really nice. All right, for my lid shade, I am going to take this color right here, which is called Prefix. I'm gonna go with Prefix. And again, I am going to first apply that with a flat brush, and then I'm probably gonna go back in and build it up with my finger. Oh, see, there's another good shimmer. I like that. That one's a little bit better than the last one I used. And just popping over top with the finger a little bit. It's pretty. I still think that first shade I used, that Silk Teddy shimmer, was the best in this palette, but this one's at least better than that pinkish one I was using. All right, and then just going back in with Taboo one more time, blending those two shades together. You guys know the drill. I just don't want as much of a line between the shimmer and the matte. So the secret is to blend. Do I want to put another color there just for fun? Nah. All right, my darlings, one more time, taking that Idle Hour shade, even though we've concluded at this point that it's a little bit lackluster. I'm gonna shake up this setting spray and spray this. And I'm gonna highlight my inner corners and my brow bone with that. All right, home stretch. So for the lower lash line, I'm first gonna take Hot Gossip, which is that first shade that we put in the crease, and I am going to blend that like so. Next, I am taking that second shade that we put in the crease called Tabloid, and I'm just using my small pointed liner brush again, just something to concentrate that just a little bit closer to the lash line. And I'm actually gonna use that other brush and just blend that out really quick. And then on a flat eyeliner brush, I'm taking that last shade Taboo, and I'm gonna just smudge that right at the lash line. All right, and then the last step you can do here is you can put some black eyeliner or brown eyeliner in the waterline. I did not bring down an eyeliner. I need to get some new eyeliners. I really don't have any because I don't use it that often, but I didn't bring down an eyeliner, so I'm gonna stop here. So I am going to pop some lashes and lipstick on off of camera, and I will be right back and we will talk about this palette. All right, you guys, so we are here with the third and final finished look. And I have to say, this is definitely my favorite look of the three. I just live for lashes and just like a nice, sultry, smoky, like neutral smoky eye and a beautiful nude lip. So now that we are finished kind of playing around with this Bare Necessities palette, let's talk about it for a second. So overall, I would say this palette is definitely a win. I don't know. Okay, so right now, like first impressions, I'm not feeling over the moon about it, but I definitely think it's a win. I definitely think it's worth the money, and I definitely think it's worth having in your collection. I think the color selection, like if you're a neutrals person, this is all that you will ever need, especially if you're not somebody that like collects makeup like me and a lot of other people do, and you just want a good go-to palette to get your everyday looks for work, your more dramatic looks for a night out, and you're not too adventurous, you don't really need too much makeup. I think this is such an awesome palette. I think it's very user-friendly, and I think that you have any color that you would ever need for that situation. Now, what I do want to say is, I mentioned this throughout the video, but I think that the mattes are the #1 winners in this palette. I kind of went top to bottom as I was creating these looks, and I will say throughout each of the rows, every single matte that I picked up, even if it was like something like this that was a matte with a little bit of glitter in it, I thought it really blended out well. I didn't find that anything was patchy, and I felt like the mattes worked really well together. Sometimes when you have like matte shadows that aren't that great or kind of so-so, they all kind of blend together in a way that makes your eye look black and blue almost, like they all kind of mesh together and you lose like the true colors. But I didn't find that to be the case with any of the looks that I was able to create with this palette today. Now I will say, I think my favorite shade in the whole palette is this Silk Teddy shade. So whatever the formula is of this shade, I think it's an amazing, gorgeous, gorgeous shimmer. The rest of the shimmers, this one was okay. This is the one that I have on my lid right now. This one was all right. This one I did not like at all. And the finish of this looks similar to some of these other shimmers in the palette. So I definitely need to play around with this more, but I'm not so sure that I feel like the shimmers in this palette are a home run, but the mattes are awesome. So that being said, overall, I dig it. I definitely like this palette. I 100% see myself using it over and over and over again as one of my like go-to palettes in my collection. I love that Colourpop is coming out with these bigger palettes. I also have the So Jaded palette, and I do really like that they're coming out with these bigger palettes with more options, more color selections, just like more to do with them. Like there's more that you can do with them because there's more colors. I, as a makeup lover, really love that. So you have to decide, of course, on your own if you think that this is something that you want to try out. But I hope this video was helpful. If you've made it to this point in the video, thank you for sticking through it. I know my first couple of looks were a little bit rough. I'm still trying to figure out the like one eye camera angle and everything like that. I really want to experiment with different video styles and just kind of making my videos more interesting going into next year. So, well, it might be 2020 by the time you guys are watching this, so I don't know, but it's not 2020 yet when I'm filming this. So thank you for bearing with me if you've made it this far. If you are not already subscribed to the Gregorio Girls Makeup channel, please consider doing so by hitting the subscribe button down below. We'd love to have you join the girl gang that we have here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram. I will be posting more makeup content on there as well. I am at DebDevGregs and Shauna is at Shauna Greggs. As always, thank you so much for tuning into our channel today. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next video. Mwah! Love you. Bye.